Hello my beautiful fragrance family, Dustin here, fragrance fan. Go ahead and do me a solid and click that like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell notification. And I'm just going to keep on giving you guys these budget-friendly fragrance reviews, that $40-ish and $100 range, and most of these are way less than that. And a good number of these you can find at your local rack stores. I'm doing another side-by-side comparison video. These two fragrances you're probably not going to find at your rack store, but you will find them for a very good price online. Even Amazon. I picked the one up on Amazon for like $17. I might have picked both of them up on Amazon because this brand is pretty competitive. They might be a couple dollars more, but it's free shipping, and so that's why I don't have to jump through hoops and everything, and it's easy for me to pay. So these two fragrances are very similar. They get compared to the same fragrance, and they're from the same exact house. And I'm talking about Lattafa's Nadjdia and Lattafa Hayaati. So let's kick things off with Lattafa's Hayaati, the one that I'm doing a giveaway on, and I still have not heard from the person who won. So if I don't hear from them in like another week, I'll try to do another giveaway on this thing because I have a brand new one that's just still sitting here. And so this is actually part of the glass. That is not a sticker. That is how the glass is. The atomizer on this one is pretty good. So what you're going to get out of this one is a pretty close resemblance, a little bit more of a Middle Eastern spice take on Invictus. It gets compared to the 2013 and the 2016, and it even gets compared to Lattafa Hayaati. That one, yeah, it's not as spicy. That one's way juicier and just, I don't know. But they are in the same ballpark for sure. But as far as the Invictus, yeah, it does really resemble the Invictus DNA. But I want to compare these two and not how close they are to Invictus. So this is going to open up with a nice dose of some cinnamon with the green apple, citruses, a little bit aquatic, and there's some sweetness there from the vanilla. It's pretty simple. It's a nice smelling fragrance. It lasts a decent amount of time. It's about 6, maybe 7 hours if you overspray. It's definitely a compliment style of DNA. But there's only like 6 notes listed in this thing. And like I said, the way it opens is going to be spicy, green apple citrus. And then you're going to start getting into some of like the aquatic feel in the woods. So this one, I like the presentation on this. A little leaf and everything. The box has that same thing on it too. These are both eau de parfum concentrations. The lid is real light and cheap. The atomizer is about the same as that one. So in the opening, there's just a touch more apple. To my nose, there's a little bit more apple in this one, and maybe just a hair creamier. There's a little bit of creaminess. This has sandalwood in the base of it, so perhaps some of that is peeking its head out in the opening. But as far as the opening, these two are extremely similar. Extremely similar. Very hard to tell the difference even on two hands when you're smelling it. You're just going to get a touch more of the sweetness from the green apple in this one and a little bit more creaminess. Now, the dry down is where they start to differ the most. But that being said, by the time it starts drying down, you're not projecting off a whole lot anymore. These two are pretty good in projection for about the first hour or so. About 30 minutes into it, this one starts to change a little bit. But after like an hour, when it starts to really reel itself back in and you're kind of getting that scent bubble, the more that this thing dries down, the more it starts to change. Now, it doesn't branch off and go its own direction. It stays pretty much right next to Hayaati, and then kind of does like this just a little bit. It just differs a little bit. It becomes a little bit more earthy, a little more dusty, a little bit more creamy. That's it. This is a little bit more complex. It has a little bit more stuff going on instead of bergamot like this one uses. This one utilizes like lemongrass instead. Just little things like that. It's also got stuff like lavender in it. It's got tobacco. Instead of vanilla, it has amber. This one has the vanilla. This one has amber. It's just a slightly busier fragrance, and it's slightly better quality. Now, should you own both of them? Is it redundant to own both of them? The performance, longevity, sillage, projection is pretty much the same. And I would have to say, unless you're trying to build a collection or you're some kind of enthusiast or something like that, then you definitely don't need both of these, because by the time that this thing changes, people aren't going to be smelling it as much, and if somebody does, they're probably not going to be able to tell the difference because they are so similar. Now, if you're into something that's a little, these are both very synthetic. I will say that right off the bat, they are extremely synthetic. They can burn your nose a little bit. Perhaps that's that Middle Eastern spice, but they do have kind of the nose tickling thing going on. So if you don't like that, then you won't like these. This is just a little bit better quality. I'm not saying that because other people do. It is slightly noticeable if your nose is somewhat trained at all. You can tell that there's a slight quality step up with that one versus Hayaati. Now in the air, you really can't tell the difference. They smell so close that if you're not trying to build some kind of collection or anything like that, I would say you don't need both of them. If you're on a budget, this one you'll find for like 17 bucks, maybe 20 bucks. This one is going to be more like $25 or $30. At the recording of this is September of 2023. You might have to look a little bit because it changes between like Joma Shop, Kingdom Fragrances, Fragrance X, Forever Luxe and stuff, Amazon, to see where you can find Lattafa's Nadjdia for that price, but it is available at that. So yeah, you don't need both of these if you're trying to get something that smells a little bit different from the other, because these smell so alike. You will probably be disappointed if you're trying to find something that's, if you don't want two fragrances that smell alike, don't get both of these. Otherwise, they're both awesome smelling fragrances, both going to get you a bunch of compliments, both slightly above average performance, pretty versatile, and youthful, playful, casual night out type of a fragrance. And so that's my final thoughts on Lattafa Hayaati and Lattafa Nadjdia. With that, I'm out. Y'all be blessed, take care of yourself always, and until next time.